Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 68 of the Travel Like a Boss podcast. I'm here with Larissa in Bangkok, Thailand.
Hi you guys.
Hey, so where exactly are we sitting?
We are sitting in a little private office at, what is this called?
The Hive.
The Hive in Bangkok. And it's like almost 5, so I'm a little bit tired and my mind's not working properly.
That's all right, and we've actually had a very event-filled last couple of weeks. So since we left Chiang Mai almost a month ago, where have you been?
We've basically been in Koh Lanta most of the time, which has been absolutely amazing. And then we are in Bangkok, which was kind of unexpected because we were planning on just skipping Bangkok and just going straight to Taiwan.
Yeah, so we are actually supposed to be in Taiwan right now, but it turns out that Larissa needed a visa as a South African to get in Taiwan. Mm-hmm. So, a travel tip is always double check to make sure, your visa or your country's passport is okay to go to that country.
I never go on forums where people discuss it. Actually go on the immigration.
The official website.
Because if you just read someone else's opinion, that we tend to just trust other people all the time online, and it doesn't mean because you got it from one place that's accurate. So
yeah, so unfortunately, don't listen to forums, don't listen to Facebook groups, just do your own research. But even though it was kind of a pain in the butt, we got to explore Bangkok, and which is something that we probably never would have done because neither of us actually like Bangkok or big cities. And since we've been here, we got to check out a couple of different co-working spaces, as well as a little bit of the city itself. And what did you think? So the first co-working space was Hubba.
Yeah. So personally, I didn't really like Hubba that much. It's not a co-working space that I'll be going back to. Mm-hmm. It's also difficult if you've become accustomed and used to one or two places. Then it's hard to adjust to another place. Everyone doesn't just fall into a new place. And I think I've just become so accustomed to working at certain places that it takes time to adjust. So I shouldn't say I'll never go back there. Maybe if I go back a few times, it will also grow on me. But it wasn't one of the places that stood out in my mind that I'm gonna say I have to go back to Bangkok to go to Hubba.
Yeah, it definitely didn't blow my mind or anything, but I liked the place. It had a decent layout. I could see myself working there. And it's the first co-working space in Bangkok, so I do have to give them props and applaud them for starting the trend. And overall, it was good. I mean, it was decent. Had everything that you need. It had a big trampoline in the back. And there's actually a short review on my blog, Johnny FD, of Hubba. But the second co-working space we checked out, the Hive, where we are now, I would say that this gave us a bigger reason to want to co-work in Bangkok.
I absolutely love the Hive. There's so much space here. It's 4 floors or 6 floors. I like the people here. It's just a completely different vibe as well from Chiang Mai that we're used to. People are quite different, yeah. The one thing I really noticed quickly when we walked in is that everyone's dressed quite nicely in Bangkok, where Chiang Mai is so informal and so laid back, and I absolutely love that about it. But I think it's also a nice change of pace, seeing fashionable people around me saying, "Hey Larissa, you need to take a little bit of pride again." So it's a cool reminder, but that's not the only thing. There's a lot of stuff that I like about the Hive.
So I think the part of being in a big city, it just has a different mentality where Chiang Mai has a very laid back vibe. A lot of people go there to do yoga, to meditate, to kind of just chill out. People coming to Bangkok, they want to live in a big metropolitan city, and the clothing definitely reflects that. Mm-hmm. It's also easy to get around here. You can take taxis everywhere. There's apps for it. You can just flag one down the street. It's almost like being in New York, and the taxis are very cheap. We've been taking taxis everywhere, and the most expensive ride we had was maybe $5, so 150 baht, and that's to go for an hour. So if you're just going, let's say from your hotel 10 or 20 minutes away to a restaurant or to the co-working space, we've been spending 50 baht, which is $1.50. It's extremely affordable, very convenient. In Chiang Mai, unfortunately, the taxis kind of suck. I mean, they're okay. I mean, they're fine. They're Songtaos. They're not really enclosed taxis. So it's not nice, being in the back of a pickup truck or in a tuk-tuk, which I really try to avoid. But it's also very easy to ride your scooter or even to walk in Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
So I think
I wouldn't risk riding a scooter in Bangkok.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't either. And also, there's no reason to, because you have a great train system and you have a great taxi system. So in Bangkok, if I can't walk somewhere, I'll either do one of those two. While in Chiang Mai, I would definitely ride a scooter versus taking the songtaos. So I think it also is one thing that will determine the type of person that would prefer Bangkok or Chiang Mai.
And it's not like, it definitely is the type of person, but I do believe it's a reflection of the time in your life. Like, I'm the type of person that would want to live in Chiang Mai and I would like to live in Bangkok, but it depends what you are busy doing, what's important to you. Like, are you really, like, I feel like Chiang Mai is excellent for people who's just starting out and who really needs to have a close group of connections helping them out with people who's really willing to help. Like, people here in Bangkok's really focused on their own thing. And we could see that immediately as we walked in. Is like, you really need to make an effort to go over and introduce yourself to someone else, and like, what are you doing? Like, you have to be the one to initiate everything. Where Chiang Mai is such a close community. Like, people really want to help you. They're just as curious about what you are doing. So I would definitely feel like my personality would fit in everywhere. It's just, where are you at in your life with your business? Like, where do you want to take it? What's your priorities? I think that's a big thing to ask yourself.
Yeah, if you're just quitting a job and moving to Asia and you want to be a digital nomad, you want to network and meet other nomads, probably don't come to Bangkok. Go to Chiang Mai, you're going to meet a lot more people. I mean, it's a lot more social. People are, just as Larissa said, a lot more outgoing to meet each other. While here, everyone's established. They're kind of working on their own projects. So if you go out of your way to meet them, I'm sure you can meet a great group of friends. Because there are a lot of people in Bangkok. It's a big city. There's a lot of people in the space, but Larissa's absolutely right. It's not a digital nomad hub, and I think that's the reason for it. Koh Lanta, what did you think of that co-working space?
I absolutely loved Koh Lanta. Koh Hub, like, if anyone who works there, who has been there, is listening to this, I love everything about Koh Hub. I love the people, I love the vibe, I love the co-working space, I love the food, I loved everything. I would go back. I love the beach. I love how affordable it is. I would go back in a heartbeat. Yeah,
I really like Koh Lanta as well, and that would be a place that I will definitely spend a few months of the year at. Bangkok, now that I've been here, and really just because of the hive and really not that much else, I can see myself coming here for a month at a time a year. And while I'm here, I would take taxis to different restaurants and just try out different things. But it's not a place that I would recommend people to bootstrap. It's a lot more expensive to live here. The actual co-working space is probably almost double. I think the standard hot desk is 5,000 baht. But if you want an actual office chair and not a wooden chair, it's 7,000. And a pun space, it's 3,500. So it's exactly half the price. For pretty much getting a similar thing. It's still a place to work, still a place to network, but the Hive has a lot to offer. Has a lot of amenities. What are some of your favorites?
So they have a rooftop bar, like chilled lounge setting, where they have coffees and muffins and really nice foods, breakfast, Thai food. And it just, you look out over the whole of Bangkok, or over the city, which is really nice to take a break while you're at work, because a lot of the time you tend to work for hours without like taking a proper break, and it gets unhealthy, it's not good. But the rooftop bar, like, you go there and you go sit for 15-20 minutes and you actually take a breather and you relax.
So you get free coffee at the Hive. It's actually good.
And it's filtered coffee.
It's nice filtered coffee. And it's up in the cafe, so someone serves it to you, which is nice, in a nice mug. But it also forces you to go up the stairs or go up the lift and hang out upstairs for a bit. So it is nice. It is a nice break. What is the other thing you've been doing every single day since we've been here during the break?
I'll say now what's the other thing that I've been doing every single day. But something I really liked at the Hive as well is we've bumped into the owner here, and he takes so much pride in this place. And he just asks you about like what can they improve on, is there any recommendations, and you can just see this is a place really close and dear to his heart. And I love it when I meet owners who are around first of all, and they like introduce themselves, and like that was to me like something that I really liked about him. So that's something that makes me want to go back to a place. And it was the same in Koh Lanta. Like the owners were there, they really took pride in what they were doing, they were so friendly and so helpful. But what Johnny was talking about actually is the fact that they have a spa in the Hive, and not like any spa. It's like it's an amazing like 5-star, kind of 5-star, but a really good spa. They only do foot massages here, but I'm not disappointed at all in the fact that they only do that, because the foot massages here, they're so good that I would get one every single day, and it's extremely affordable. They have special prices for if you are a member, and then it's literally almost free. Like we paid 100 baht each
for an hour foot massage.
An hour foot massage.
And the normal, that's actually just promotion to the end of the month, so I don't know how long it's going to go for. But the owner, Constant, he said that members of the co-working space are going to get 80% off.
And it's usually 500 baht,
yeah.
So I don't know what's 80%.
So that's maybe 150 or so,
yep.
which is a heck of a deal. So no, I think actually normally it's 400 for an hour.
No, it's 500.
I think 500 was for an hour 15 or something. I don't remember, but
either way,
it's a good deal.
It's so cheap.
Yeah, so I would say definitely.
And it's not one of those like massages that you pay 100 baht for because you went for a cheap one, and you can feel that like the girls were not trained and they like it's not a good massage. This is actually a really good hour of relaxation.
Yeah, I agree. So I really like the Hive. If you want to see a video of it, you can actually go on either of our blogs, because we both posted separate video tours.
Yeah.
Larissa, what's yours?
Mine is Larissa Swart.
And mine's johnnyfd.com, and we'll have I'll have links to both of them in the show notes.
Mine's 2 minutes for people who's on a time crunch. Mine's so super short.
That's all right. Well, mine has bonus time. It's a full 5 minutes of the Hive action. But so yeah, it's been fun checking out these two co-working spaces, and I didn't realize. Well, I guess maybe you didn't even realize, but your new hobby is checking out co-working spaces.
I know, I absolutely love it. Like when we got here, we were first like disappointed that we have to stay in Bangkok for a week, and then we were like, well, there's tons of co-working spaces here. Let's have a look around.
Yeah, and we're gonna be headed. We finally got our visa, and we booked new flights to Taiwan, and we found an airline, a new Taiwanese airline called V Air. And they have flights from both Bangkok and from Chiang Mai, direct flights for super cheap. I think it was $120 each way. And I think the one from Chiang Mai is actually cheaper because it's on promotion. So if we can, we're going to fly back directly to Chiang Mai from Taiwan, which is going to make it really nice. So definitely check out Taiwan itself if you guys have a chance. But I'm sure me and Larissa are going to be talking about it after this, because we're going to be there for almost 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. So why are we going for so long?
Okay, well, there's no point of us going like on a holiday for a week now that we don't need to rush the time, first of all. And secondly, this year we are avoiding 2 things in Chiang Mai. We are avoiding burning season. I do not want to go through that ever again. Mm-hmm. I'm sure we lose a few years of our lives being in Chiang Mai during burning season. Mm-hmm. And secondly, we want to avoid Songkran. And I know most people are like, oh, why do you want to avoid Songkran? It's like the best thing in the world. And it is. If you've never been there, please do not avoid Songkran. Like, you have to go to Songkran if you've never been. But it's also one of those, it's like a full moon party almost. Like, once you've done it, or you've done it a few times, and you've reached a certain age, then it's like, okay, you've done it, you've experienced it, you don't have to do it again.
Yeah, it's kind of like going to spring break. Mm-hmm. You know, it's super fun. You know, especially if you're young, if you're single. Well, actually, I guess it doesn't even matter if you're single. It's just a water fight.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're single. Yeah, because you can get like all the white T-shirt action, like Johnny.
No, but I mean more like, you know, if you're in the party mood and you want to have the craziest water fight for like 3 or 4 days, or sometimes 5 days in a row, come to Chiang Mai for Songkran. It's every April. Or this year, I think it's the 13th to the 15th or something like that.
No, the 13th it ends. Oh no, you're right. I don't know.
Yeah, so normally it starts a few days before
You're
after
right,
Songkran, and then it goes for a few days afterwards, and the whole city is shut down. So you actually can't walk outside with your backpack without getting wet. And we didn't want to be stuck indoors for 5 days, so we decided, hey, you know what, why not stay in Taiwan a little bit longer? Meet up some of the digital nomads there, and actually, so we have 2 friends that we met in Koh Lanta, Nathan and Elizabeth, who were on the previous episode of the podcast, if you want to listen to theirs, and they're going to be in Taiwan. And I'm sure we're going to meet tons of other people while we're there as well. So what do you actually know about Taiwan? What are you looking forward to?
I am mostly looking forward to spending time with family. I finally met Johnny's family, and we've been together for just like over a year now, a year and a half, and I got to meet his family in Koh Lanta, and it's been absolutely amazing so far. Like, it just feels so nice to have family around. Like when you've been away from home for a while, you do start missing like sisters and your mom and your dad, and having Johnny's mom and dad around and his sister around makes it kind of feel like I'm around my own family. So first and foremost, I'm looking forward to spending time with family members. And then secondly, I'm looking forward to exploring new cuisine. Like, I love eating. So I've heard that Taiwanese food's really good. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And I'm definitely looking forward to meeting new like nomads, seeing what people are doing there, like the expat community there. I want to see why people are moving there. I know of a South African girl, Chantal, who lives there, and I've heard of a few other people who live there, and I'm just curious to see what is it about the place that makes it very livable, that people want to go there for more than a month.
Yeah, so this is going to be my first time going to Taiwan as a digital nomad. I've been there tons of times, maybe 7 or 8 times. I spent many summers there. And it's almost always with family, because both my mom and dad are from Taiwan. This time we're going to spend, I think, a week or so now with my family, and we're going to tour around, travel, eat, things like that. And then for 2 weeks we're going to be on our own, so that's going to be kind of the fun part of it, I guess.
For him, like, I was just saying how excited I am about family. It shows you how different we are. I'm the first week's going to be the best. He's like, I can't wait for the family to leave so we can have fun.
No, but it's been really cool having Larissa meet the family. So she's passed the test. We've upgraded a relationship to the next level now, which has been really fun.
You got a gold badge now.
And they love her. I mean, like, literally all my family loves Larissa. It's hard not to. She's a really amazing girl. I'm really lucky to be with her.
Thank you, baby.
And Koh Lanta was really fun. My niece and nephew went, and we walked dogs on the beach. Shout out to Koh Lanta Animal Welfare for everything that they do on the island, but also having this fun activity where you can just show up and you can take dogs for the day and walk them on the beach. Yeah. What did you think of that?
That was amazing. I miss having pets around. We always talk about, we would like to get like a puppy or a cat, but that's basically getting a baby, which we are not ready for yet. I'm joking and say we've like taken our relationship to the next level now, but getting an animal is just not realistic. And this gave us the opportunity to go walk dogs on the beach, spend some time with animals, and do an amazing good cause. It's not an expense on anyone's side. You can do this without investing a cent. They don't charge you anything, and they don't ask you afterwards for money or anything. It's really just, if you enjoy spending time with animals, please go check out the wellness center there for the animals. Yeah,
or you can go eat at the Time for Lime. It's basically a food tasting menu, and it's also a cooking school. And I would say it's probably the best Thai food I've had pretty much anywhere. I really enjoyed it.
Really good.
And it was 6 courses. They serve it to you beachside. It's only 490 baht, which is like $15, and all the profits go
on the beach. You look like as the sun sets. It was so beautiful,
and it's for a good cause, because all the profits go back to the animal shelter. So they are our unofficial sponsor for this week. So check them out. And the dogs, they're amazing. And what they actually do is so not only do they neuter and sterilize the dogs, but they put them up for adoption, and most of the dogs are adopted outside of Thailand.
Yep.
They're adopted either to Europe or the US.
If you're in Australia, everything's hard in your country, man.
I know. They actually specifically have a sign up that says if you're from America or Europe, it's very easy to adopt the dogs. If you're from New Zealand or Australia, don't even try because it's so complicated. And there's so many rules. That's actually one thing I really don't like about Australia is these crazy, crazy rules that, like for instance, if you go into a country and the customs asks you, do you bring anything in? And you say, no, I don't. But you accidentally have a packet of peanuts in your backpack.
Peanuts you left from the last trip, like at the bottom of the bag, like one remaining peanut by himself or something.
Yeah. Or I think I had a packet of beef jerky that was sealed. I bought it from Costco, and luckily I remembered last second. I was like, oh, I do have some snacks that I brought on the plane and didn't eat. And the guy pulls out and says, if you didn't tell me right now, that would have been a $10,000 fine. And I would have been so pissed. Yeah. So don't adopt a dog if you're in Australia. But if you're in the US, or a ton of people from Sweden and from Scandinavia have been adopting these dogs. And I think it's pretty cool.
So can I just quickly say something and get it off my heart? Like, I'm so excited actually because I'm just thinking about everything we've done so far. We've been to Koh Lanta, we're in Bangkok, and we had difficulties with our flight, so we had to exchange it and etc. And we're going to Taiwan now. And this is the first month since we started our dropshipping store together that I have not been worried financially or anything because it's been going so well that I have to just give thanks to the universe and thanks to Anton and thanks to Johnny and everyone who's made this possible. That literally this month I've traveled the whole month, living in different places, going to different co-working spaces, and can I brag about something?
Yeah,
This month I've made more money than I've ever made in my whole life.
Congratulations.
Thank you, baby. And it's all because of the dropshipping. It's really it was life-changing, not because now I'm making so much money, but because I can travel now and I can do these things I've wanted to do. I can finally focus on my blog, which I've always wanted to do, or other stuff that I'm interested in, but I've just if you are concerned about finances, it consumes your whole mind. You're oh my gosh, I can't do anything but look for additional work or do something else because you're so scared you can't pay your bills. And this month we went scuba diving twice. We lived in a beautiful house. We were on the beach the whole time, and I worked about an hour a day. Some days I didn't at all, and I'm feeling extremely blessed right now. Thank you, baby.
You're very welcome. Thank you for all your hard work. Because even though we've only been working for an hour a day, well, you've only been working for an hour a day, while we've actually, I haven't been working that much either, to be honest. So yeah, even though we're just in maintenance mode, we're not really working that much. We do have to remember those 1 or 2 months of really hard work we put in during our 30-day challenge when we first set up that store.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. I can remember that. It was quite stressful, not even only because we had to put in the hours, but it was stressful because Johnny and I did it together, and it's hard on your relationship as well because there's fights involved, there's arguments because you want to do things differently, and I'm so happy that it made us stronger as a team first and foremost. And now we have all these rewards because we pushed through. We didn't just give up halfway.
Yeah, and it's absolutely worth it now. And I really want everyone to be successful, with everything they want to do in life, and be able to have this freedom, be able to travel, be able to have this life that we have. And that's why I openly talk about it. If you want to look at the 30-day challenge and kind of where we started, if you go back to November of my blog, that's kind of the ups and downs of getting started. And we're a little bit worried, not knowing, because I haven't started a new store in a year now. And people, there's so many pessimistic people that say, all the niches are taken, or it's hard now. And we were fine.
And I'm going to be honest, the only reason why I even shared it, I made this much money this month is because when we just started the store, I was very excited about it, but I did not know that I'm gonna have like a replace my full income. I was a little bit worried. Well, not even a little bit. I was really worried because I'm like, I don't know. I've never done this before. I don't know if it works. And I thought maybe that dropshipping is something that you can do on the side and it makes you like $500 a month, but it's not something that's going to provide a full-time income for me. And this is the first month I can say I'm so relieved because it did that for me. It like completely replaced my salary.
And the best thing about it is now that it's up and running, we have the option to either start another store or we can keep working on side projects that we enjoy doing, that we're passionate about. And I think for right now, I think what we're doing right now is we're going to take the next month or two and travel, meet the family, and work on passion projects, the things that we really enjoy. And then 2 months from now, hey, maybe we'll start another store.
Definitely. I know I want to make another store. I want to start another store without a doubt. And for many reasons that I want to have another store. Like I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket and be like, okay, that's my main source of income. And if something ever happens that, I'm screwed. So I definitely want to have another store as well. But I also want to have another store because with the previous store, Johnny did a lot of the technical things and a lot of the design features, and I was more like the descriptions and the pages and all those things, and I'm dealing with the customers now. But I really want to become more hands-on and more technical because I'm learning a lot, and I know it takes time, but I definitely want to do that with our second store.
Okay, so check back in a few months, and we'll do another 30-day challenge or another 60-day challenge to get the store up. If you guys want to start your own store, you can check out Anton's course. That's what we both use to get up and running. If you go to my blog, johnnyfd.com, it's under the resources page, or you can go to antonmethod.com. And actually, one thing that I never announced, and I think 26 people now have gotten access to it, is I decided to make a bonus, like a thank you bonus, but also a way to really be able to help everyone succeed as well. So I made basically a course. So originally it was just gonna be one video. Ended up being I think like 9 videos. So it's actually a lot of work, but it's a quick start guide to Anton's course. And Anton's the one that teaches you all the technical stuff, how to pick the niche, how to set up the store, how to get traffic, how to get approved by suppliers, all these things. But the things that I've helped a lot of people with now is how do you know if your niche is good or not? What do you do if you get stuck on niche selection and you just can't think of anything? What are some other ways to find it? How do you know when you're ready to call suppliers? How do you know when to put your ads live? What do you do when you make your first sale? Things like that. So that is something that I think most people would charge for, but I decided just to give it away for free for everyone who used my link to sign up, kind of as a thank you. So it's not announced anywhere live yet. It's not like, sign up for this to get that. But it's free. So if you guys use my links in the recommended resources page at Johnny FD, you'll instantly get access to that course for free. And I think it's really going to be the best way for me to try to guarantee everyone is successful, that they don't give up, that they really kind of have their hand held through the process.
Because I definitely believe that's like probably one of the most important parts of like the success ratings is the product that you choose to sell at the end of the day. Like it's not that some people are failing at it. There's no such thing. Like their store might be beautiful, but they might not have chosen the best product to sell. And there's so many products out there. Before we started the store, we had a list of I think 30 or 40 products, if not more, that I made a list out of. And I listed every single one of them. I wrote them down. We analyzed them each individually. We didn't like select one and be like, oh, that's the most expensive product, or that's the one we like the most. There was other products I loved and I really wanted it to work, but it just didn't. So we like scraped it and we're like, that's not going to work. Let's focus on like Anton's course, like what he said, like let's focus on his categories of what needs to be included.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it really is the easiest way to guarantee your success is you following his advice, his step-by-step tutorials on what to do, and then what I'm giving you guys for free is basically just a bonus, just whatever I've learned now in these last 2 years. And I think we've been a little bit lucky, but a lot of it is also just being connected to people who are smarter than us, that know, they have had more experience, have done all these things, and so many people have helped me out. So I just want to give back to helping others out.
That's nice, baby.
Yeah.
I think it's also important, like, I know this sounds weird, but you kind of have to become obsessed. Like, if you want to do it, like, make that such a key priority and do only the dropshipping. Because when we decided, okay, we're going to do a dropshipping store, my eyes opened up completely differently. Like, everywhere we walked and everything we saw, I looked in terms of, can we sell this online? And I'm like, we said, every time we had an idea, we said, okay, let's write it down. So once you decide, okay, you're going to open a dropshipping store, like, become obsessed about learning about a dropshipping store, and become obsessed about learning about from people who's done it before. Don't start Googling Amazon FBA, how to make affiliate sites or anything else, because it's so easy to get distracted. I know I'm like that. I really get distracted so easily. But whatever you decide on doing, if you want to become a teacher rather, become obsessed with the thing that you want to learn about. Become the best in that field.
Yeah, especially because we know it works. And it's one of those things where I guarantee you, if you put in 2 solid months and follow his advice exactly and don't sway away from it, it works. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's enough about dropshipping. Let's talk a little bit more about Bangkok as a city to live in, because I'm kind of excited that I like the city. I really didn't think I would, because I didn't like Saigon, and I don't like big cities. But now I think part of it, I think, is because I'm making more money now, where we can afford to eat at really nice restaurants, and we can afford to, have some kind of the niceties. Now I'm like, well, you know what? It is cool to have the selection, because, like, Chiang Mai has amazing Thai food, has some really good restaurants, but it doesn't have, 1,000, top-rated restaurants, or like Michelin star restaurants and things like that. So I can see why people like Bangkok, or why we would live in New York or something, just to have access to things like that. So one thing that's actually been on my mind is, why would someone live in Saigon versus Bangkok?
I've never been to Saigon, so unfortunately I can't answer this one.
So I think the reason why people like Saigon is because, if you ask anyone, they say because it's a big city, has a lot to offer, has a lot of nice restaurants, has really good nightlife. Has a lot of all the big city stuff, has the hustle and bustle, lots going on. It doesn't get boring. So to me, Bangkok has everything Saigon has to offer, but you don't get ripped off in taxis. You don't. Basically, no one's gonna run by and snatch your phone, or snatch your laptop, snatch your bag. I mean, it's still a big city, so things like that does happen, but it's not like you constantly have to clutch your phone for dear life when you're out. Most of the time, 99.9% of the time, it's gonna be perfectly safe. And like taxis, you were talking about the other day, where you as a woman would feel comfortable just getting into any taxi here in Bangkok.
Definitely, it's definitely safe.
And even as a guy in Saigon, I tried to avoid all the taxis, because they were scary guys, and they would always try to rip you off. Like, every single one would try to rip you off, except for there's like one color taxi that is okay. But it's like one of those things where it's like, why put yourself through that? Like, why not just live in a city where you don't have to think about things like that?
If I had to think about that, I'd rather just move back home and at least be close to family, because then I'm in Johannesburg all over again. Like, that to me makes no sense. For me, like, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because I always think of safety first. As a woman, I'm like, where do I feel safe and secure first? And then I think of all the other benefits.
So for those listening that like Saigon, leave a comment. I'm curious what makes you choose Saigon over Bangkok. I'm not a big city guy, so maybe it's not up to me to judge. But you can have beautiful condos here. You can have a penthouse here. You can have a driver. You can have Uber. Actually, I don't know if they're Uber here, but they do have apps like Uber where you can get taxis. You can go to fine restaurants, have good nightlife. Basically do everything that you can do in Saigon, but without the stress, without the hassle.
How is the culture and the people in Saigon compared to here? Because that's a big impact. Like, everyone here is like kind of dressed up. It looks very formal, and Like, like it's a completely different vibe from Chiang Mai. Like,
Yeah.
I've always pictured Saigon as the same people who lives in Chiang Mai, but in a big city.
No, I would say people are pretty dressed very similar to Bangkok. People are also kind of dressed up, especially the local Vietnamese people kind of take pride on things like that. But people are not nowhere as friendly. I mean, people in Thailand and even in Bangkok and even in a big city are so much friendlier. I haven't been in Saigon in a year, and I was only there for 3 weeks, so I'm not an expert on Saigon. But I honestly cannot even think of a single thing, like a single reason why I would choose Saigon over Bangkok. Personally, my hub is still going to be Chiang Mai because it fits my personality and my stage of life, where I'm very happy to be laid back, to be able to be in shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops, go to the co-working space that's half the price of living here, be able to walk everywhere, and just have a kind of laid back feeling, but still be productive with things, still get things done. We still live in a nice condo and we still have nice restaurants. So to me, it's kind of like a good balance, I think. Koh Lanta, I can see myself going to for 2 months at a time, enjoying the beach and hanging out, working out of Koh, which I really liked. But I can't see myself there the whole year because I'll get bored, number one. And second, there's no access to a lot of things. Like, I can't get grass-fed butter there, so I can't make my bulletproof coffee. There's no movie theaters. There's no malls where, I know things like that shouldn't matter that much, but once you're actually living somewhere, not just traveling, it's nice to have some amenities. What are your thoughts?
Once again, I think it depends on where you are in your life. Like, I could easily go live in Koh Lanta right now because I feel like that's what my soul needs, and I need quietness and nourishing right now. I wouldn't want to come live in Bangkok right now, but it all depends on a stage in your life. Like, I could see myself maybe in a year living in Bangkok. I completely feel over Chiang Mai. I can honestly say that. I don't. 2 years ago, I moved to Chiang Mai and I thought I could live there forever. I know now that I wouldn't want to stay there consistently for the rest of my life. I can definitely see myself within the next year making a big change in terms of that. But it would still probably be Asia. I love Asia in general, but I feel I need a change. I need a change of pace. I need to surround myself with new people again. I think it's so easy to get stuck in Chiang Mai and to get too comfortable.
Because it's such a comfortable place. The cost of living is so low, and if anyone has any suggestions of other places like Chiang Mai, but that's not Chiang Mai, we're very happy to hear it, because I would love to be able to find a place in somewhere else in Asia or in Europe or wherever it is that has all the pros of Chiang Mai.
Please comment and just tell us, where's your favorite place in the world to work from and why? Does that place appeal to you? Whether it be Saigon, Bangkok, somewhere in Europe, just tell us, why do you choose that or that place as a home base, and what it is that really appeals to you.
Yeah, because as much as I love Chiang Mai, especially now, kind of traveling more and seeing some more places, I think once our lease is up in, I don't know when it is, maybe September, so we have a few more months in Chiang Mai, I think we'll definitely check out another place. I think these last 2 years that I've been in Chiang Mai have been incredible, and I recommend it 100% wholeheartedly to everyone that's starting out and wants to be a digital nomad.
And I'm always going to go back there.
We'll
it's
definitely
always going to be part of my heart.
Yeah. But I can definitely see us not renewing the lease for another year and checking out another place, especially because we can now. Mm-hmm. And everything kind of just came together, because when me and Larissa first started dating, she was tied down to a normal job. She was an English teacher, and not only was she, location dependent, but also financially, it was,
I was earning 33,000 baht a month, which is a normal salary for a teacher in Thailand. Mm-hmm. But how often can you travel on those with that income? Not often, because you need to take into consideration that you still need to book flights back to your home country from time to time. Mm-hmm. So you're really restricted when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, and even though it's nice that you get holidays, you get 2 months off, you're not paid during that time, are you?
If you work, you get paid during summer school, and you get paid double. So
okay.
That's a big incentive to keep people there. but then you're exhausted when the new school term starts because you never had a break.
So if you decide not to work during summer,
You get your normal salary.
okay, so at least you get something, so you can travel, but it's not a lot of money. It's like $1,000 a month. Right?
Yes, and that's the same. That's my plane ticket back to South Africa. So then, like, how often you can't go travel somewhere else. I'm never going to go to Europe on that salary.
So now that you're earning double that, and now there's unlimited upside as well, because our salary is going to keep growing, and it's great having Larissa on the same page now as well. So we both don't have to stress about money anymore. I think so. Money is not the most important thing in a relationship. It's one of the least important things. You know, we have so much more in a relationship that keeps us strong, but it's so nice not having to worry and stress about it, because I would say, you know, I don't know, you know, the statistics, but I would say that money problems is going to be one of the biggest issues in any relationship. You know, I know tons of people fight over it, and you know, it's just kind of like a cloud, you know, and it limits you. Like now, me and Larissa can literally travel pretty much wherever we want, and especially because we can still keep working, we can still earn money while traveling. And I guarantee you guys, by this time next year, you know, at the pace that we're going, we're gonna double our salaries again. And by this time next year, we can be like, okay, let's go to Europe for 3 months or 6 months, and be able to afford that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's important as well to know that, like, even though I'm traveling a lot, I want to start thinking of saving a little bit of money. And I think a lot of people, when you're young and you're traveling a lot, you don't think of those things yet. And it's not the end of the world if you don't, but for me it's becoming a priority, where I'm like, okay, let me get my priorities straight, let me get like my financial priorities, all of these things, I need to get it straight. So this is giving me like the freedom of traveling, but also having enough savings in case something ever happens and I need to, you know.
Yeah, so the plan for the next year is basically to keep our expenses pretty much as what it is right now, increase the amount of money we're earning through our stores and, you know, by starting new projects, and then just save all that money. If anyone, you know, is basically curious about how to invest, I read a book recently, the new book by Tony Robbins called Money Master the Game, and I would highly recommend that to everyone to check it out, because it's kind of, he interviews I think 10 of the top investors in the world, including Warren Buffett and all the other big names. So it's almost like getting an MBA through reading that book. It's a very intense book, a lot to think about, but I think it's very important for everyone to, you know, especially if you're making enough money now where you have some side cash just sitting in the bank, do something with it. You know, don't let it just sit there. Even though I got lucky with the Facebook stocks, and I wrote about that on my blog. If you guys just search for Facebook stocks on Johnny FD, I actually honestly would not do it again, because it was a huge gamble. I mean, it's one of those things where no one knows if it's individual stocks going to go up or not. So yes, I got lucky. I'm very happy that I did, but I'm not going to do that again. So now what I invest in is something called an index fund. And there's one by Vanguard called VTI. And that's one of the ones that Tony Robbins recommends in the book. So check that out. You know, if you want to follow along, just look on the blog. So it's our last day now in Bangkok. What are your thoughts?
I'm excited to go to Taiwan tomorrow. I mean, that's definitely a priority now. But I'm also excited that I could see Bangkok this week. And I know I'm definitely going to come back. Yeah, it's been a good week.
I like it as well. So, guys, thanks for listening. If you want to check out Larissa's blog, it's larissaswat.com.
It's more for the ladies.
Yeah.
But all the guys are more than welcome to go have a look as well.
Actually, if you're a lady, Larissa just published her first book.
Yep.
It's called the Douchebag Diaries.
I'm really excited about it. You can look at it on my blog. It's something really personal and very close to my heart. It's something I believe a lot of girls should read and a lot of girls should learn from. Relationships are like such an important part of our lives. Like Johnny's been the best thing in my life, but I've gone through quite a few relationships where I never took the time to learn from them, and this really is like a self-help book and a personal development book for women to learn from our previous relationships and just to see them as assignments, and something that really happens to you for a reason.
So for the female listeners, definitely read this book, or if you're a guy and you have a younger sister, if you have a female in your life that would benefit from it, get them the book as a present. I think they would really enjoy it.
And you guys, thank you so much for supporting this amazing podcast.
Yep.
It's definitely my favorite.
All right, everyone. Take care. Follow the blog, johnnyfd.com, and see you next week.
Bye, you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Travel Like a Boss podcast. If you want to hear more, including the bonus How to Choose the Perfect Niche episode, join our mailing list at travellikeabosspodcast.com. See you next week, and remember, if you want to travel like a boss, you need to be your own boss. So start your online business today and start living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of.